Hey, welcome to part two of the whole sort of stress thing going on in the body at the moment. The stubborn body fat we're actually talking about here. Okay, so I wanted to talk about anxiety in particular in this video, and basically, you know, I'm going to share a couple of testimonials and stuff of people I've worked with just recently. But the thing is with the anxiety is that anxiety is like an obsession with the future. You're worried about what's going to happen next. You're tossing and turning at night, and you're not sleeping very well, and you're worried about the mother-in-law turning up on the doorstep without giving you a call first. You're worried about the awkward brother-in-law and if he's going to kick up a stink at Christmas time around the family. You know, you're worried about the business meeting that's coming up. You're worried about your job security, that kind of stuff. All that sort of anxiety, okay? Now, one of the things with the anxiety is that as your body, again, starts to freak out a little bit, you go into that survival mode. And if you're in survival mode, basically, most people are going to have stubborn body fat. Now, with anxiety actually raises your blood sugars, okay? It brings the cortisol levels up. And if you have cortisol is the alert hormone in the body, preparing you for what's coming up around the corner. So your cortisol level goes up, and as your cortisol goes up, your blood sugars come up. And as your blood sugars come up, that's when your mind starts getting really edgy, and you start sort of spinning out of control, and your mind just floats off in this other direction, and all of a sudden you start fantasizing about things that aren't even going to happen. And you might toss and turn at night. That's another example of your cortisol not being switched off at night entirely. So you wake up in the middle of the night, you toss it and turn, you can't switch your brain off, your cortisol level's too high, okay? So basically what goes on is that when you've got those elevated blood sugars, if you don't burn those blood sugars off as energy, you can those blood sugars can be stored as body fat because your body's got to deal with them somehow, and it's dangerous to have sugar going around in the bloodstream all the time. So your body uses insulin to help take them out of the bloodstream, and you may store them as body fat if you don't burn them off as energy. Now, again, the main thing is, of course, so that's a hormonal response based on that thought process, okay, which I talked about in the first video. Now, one of the girls that I worked with, which is very interesting, is, I've only been working with her for about 3 weeks. She has suffered from anxiety for about 4 years, sometimes having anxiety attacks up to 4 times in a single day. Now, when I took her on board with my program, I said to her, how much, you want to lose weight, how much weight do you want to lose? She said she'll be stoked to lose any weight at all. In her first week, she lost 4 kilos, okay? First week, after having stubborn body fat for 4 years. Now, all we did was teach the body to believe and to feel that she was in a safe place. When the body feels that you're in a safe place, your body will start to work properly because those hormones are all starting to come down. You're recalibrating the hormone levels and taking your body out of survival mode. And as you relax and you start to sleep better and you unwind, you follow a wind down routine in the evening and that kind of thing, then you find that you're balancing out your blood sugars a lot better. And as her body didn't no longer perceived that she was in a stressful life or death situation, her body was able to begin functioning normally, and she was able to lose her body fat, not a problem. And I'm doing this with a number of people at the moment. I'm just using this particular girl as an example. Also, after 2 weeks of the program, she had lost 5.6 kilos over 2 weeks. Sorry, there's a fly getting in my way. Anyway, I'm not going to restart the video for that. She had lost 5.6 kilos in just 2 weeks, and in that second week, she did not experience one anxiety attack. The first time in 4 years that she has not experienced an anxiety attack for a whole week. Okay, so her body is fully wound down now, and this is the thing we've got to understand. If you are suffering from anxiety, you need to focus on winding down and allowing the body to believe that you are no longer you're in a stressful position. You need to you need to change the way you're thinking about situations and focus on burning up those blood sugars that are going to make you feel really edgy and spin you out of control and make you fantasize about things that aren't factual or are non-existent and that are never going to happen. And one way to do that is to use a rational thought process, a mantra, to help you override the emotion. So every time you feel yourself getting a little bit pent up, use that emotional thought, that emotional thing, the rational thought process. Maybe it might be, okay, there's nothing to fear because every time I think like that, I normally have that fear. Nothing ever comes of it anyway, okay? It depends on your situation and what you're worrying about, obviously. But by using a rational thought process, you will override the emotions, and you got to keep practicing that. And then as you keep practicing that, you'll wind your system down. Also, you need to think about your wind down in the evenings. If you're not sleeping very well, focus on winding down by going for a walk in the evenings for 20 minutes or 30 minutes, and that will bring the blood sugars down, and that will help you to unwind better. Also think about an Epsom salts bath, so magnesium, stick the magnesium into the bath, have a good soak in there for 20 minutes, and read your book, use a chamomile tea on the side, make sure you get rid of caffeine entirely, and that again will help you to just wind down a little bit, okay? So again, we've got to go back to the root cause and find out what is causing you to think the way that you are. What you can do is you can look at your food, make sure that you eliminate caffeine. You can focus on your wind down in the evening, which is what I've just mentioned to you. And you can also use that rational thought process to overcome the emotions, the emotional thoughts that are non-existent, and it's just basically sort of fear and that kind of hormonal response to those emotional thoughts are to raise your blood sugars, okay? Another person that just finishing off now, another person that I worked with in Hamilton, she's got her parents' failing health. She has got a busy household, getting kids off to school and after school sports and things. She's married, she's got a job, and her parents have got failing health. And she's also training for a triathlon as well. And when I spoke to her, and this is the first time I was speaking to her, once I spoke to her, it became really apparent. One, she wasn't sleeping properly because she was tossing and turning, thinking about those things going around in her head that were worrying her. The other thing was that she was up here all the time. There was too much going on, so she wasn't effectively winding down at the end of each day. I asked her to stop training for 2 weeks. As soon as she stopped training and focused on her wind down, and she focused on her sleep, and she followed the food plan, she lost 5 kilos in 2 weeks. And she had not been able to lose this weight for about 18 months. We just flipped everything on its head, changed her approach to everything, and said, just stop and just wind down. And as she did that, the body perceived that it was in a safe place. Bang, the weight loss started happening straight away. Not a problem, okay? So that's what I want you to think about. If you're suffering from anxiety and stubborn body fat, you need to think about what I've just talked about, and don't go out and try and train harder, because you don't need to. Just focus on walking. If you focus on doing a bit of walking and winding down and bringing those blood sugars down, and using your chamomile tea and your Epsom salts bath every now and then, and focusing on and making sure your food's good as well, you will help to prevent the thought process in the first place. And if you're focusing on changing the thought process in the first place, you're changing the emotional response to those thoughts. And then you're going to be able to sleep better. And as you sleep better, everything's going to start to wind down and you're going to recover. Okay, and then that weight loss will start to happen. Okay, I hope this has been helpful for you. I will talk a little bit more about stress again in part 3. Make sure you check that video out. And if you're enjoying these videos, make sure you give us a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel. Okay, my name is Steve Jennings from No Compromise Fitness. I've been a holistic health coach for 14 years now. And if you need any personal help, make sure you get in touch. It costs nothing to get in touch with me via email or Skype, or give me a phone call, okay? Just get in touch below. All right, thank you very much for tuning in, guys. I look forward to talking to you in the next video.